Nestled atop Vatican Hill, a sacred mound in the heart of Rome, the Vatican stands as a citadel of faith, power, and unfathomable mystery. Its gleaming domes and ancient walls conceal a labyrinth of secrets, none more enigmatic than the Vatican Apostolic Archives, once known as the Secret Archives. This repository, spanning centuries, holds documents that could rewrite humanity's history, texts linking the Church to Freemasons, the Illuminati, ancient Israel, and even the figure of Lucifer, not as a demon, but as a bearer of divine light. The Vatican story is one of celestial ambition, hidden alliances, and a location chosen for its cosmic significance. This is the tale of its creation, its purpose, and the esoteric forces that have shaped its destiny. Long before the cross adorned its summit, Vatican Hill, or Mons Vaticanus, was a place of profound spiritual power. The Etruscans, a civilization older than Rome, revered this site as a gateway to the divine. Its name, derived from vaticinium, meaning prophecy, marked it as a place where oracles communed with celestial forces. Beneath the hill's surface, a network of tunnels and chambers housed rituals dedicated to astral deities, including Venus, the morning star, whose light some later equated with Lucifer, the bringer of wisdom. These subterranean sanctuaries, carved from volcanic rock, contained artifacts, golden tablets, star maps, and cryptic inscriptions that spoke of humanity's origins and cosmic destiny. The Etruscans, masters of astronomy and divination, recorded their knowledge in texts that blended science and mysticism. These writings, it is said, detailed encounters with beings of light, prophecies of a unified world order, and rituals to harness the hill's geomagnetic energy. Some claim these texts were etched with secrets of ancient Israel, carried to Italy by seafaring tribes who traded with Phoenician merchants. These early connections to the Holy Land, preserved in clay and papyrus, would later become the cornerstone of the Vatican's secret archives, a collection begun not by Christians, but by pagans who understood the hill's power. As Rome rose, it absorbed the Etruscan legacy. The hill became a site of necromantic rites where priests invoked spirits in a necropolis that would later lie beneath St. Peter's Basilica. The Vatican's location was no arbitrary choice. It was a deliberate claim on a site where the veil between worlds was thin, a place where earthly rulers could wield divine authority. The artifacts buried beneath, including those linked to ancient Jewish mysticism, set the stage for the Vatican's role as a guardian of forbidden knowledge. The Vatican's Christian era began with the martyrdom of St. Peter in 64 CE. Under Emperor Nero's brutal persecution, Peter, the apostle chosen by Jesus to lead his church, was crucified upside down on Vatican Hill near the pagan necropolis. His death sanctified the site, transforming it into a pilgrimage destination. By the 2nd century, a modest shrine, the Trophy of Gaius, marked Peter's tomb, drawing devotees who believed his relics held miraculous power. This shrine, built over ancient Etruscan tunnels, became the nucleus of the Vatican, a beacon for a fledgling faith. As Christianity grew, so did the need to preserve its sacred writings. Early church leaders, operating in secrecy to evade Roman authorities, began collecting texts, apostolic letters, martyr accounts, and prophecies. These were hidden in catacombs and private homes, but some were stored in the Vatican Hill's subterranean chambers, where Etruscan relics already lay. Among these early archives were documents from Judea, acquired through Christian converts who maintained ties with Jewish communities. These texts, it is said, included accounts of Jesus' life suppressed by Orthodox leaders, such as Gnostic Gospels and scrolls describing secret pacts between early Christians and Essene sects in Qumran. These pacts, some claim, promised a shared spiritual dominion, linking the nascent church to Israel's prophetic traditions. In 313 CE, Emperor Constantine's Edict of Milan legalized Christianity, ushering in an era of imperial patronage. Guided by visions of a cross in the sky, Constantine chose Vatican Hill for a grand basilica over Peter's tomb. Completed in 326 CE, Old St. Peter's Basilica was a monument to Christian triumph, its foundations laid atop the ancient necropolis. Beneath the basilica, the church expanded its archival vaults, incorporating pagan and Jewish texts seized during Rome's conquests. After the destruction of Jerusalem's Second Temple in 70 CE, Roman soldiers brought back scrolls detailing the Davidic lineage and messianic prophecies. These were locked away, accessible only to a select cadre of clerics who understood their explosive potential. Constantine himself, a figure straddling Christian and pagan worlds, is said to have contributed to the archives. His mother, Helena, journeyed to the Holy Land, retrieving relics like the True Cross and texts from Jerusalem's ruins. Some of these, it is whispered, spoke of a light-bearing figure, a messiah or divine intellect, later conflated with Lucifer in Christian demonology. These documents, guarded in lead-lined caskets, formed the bedrock of the secret archives, a collection that would grow into a labyrinth of forbidden knowledge. As the Western Roman Empire collapsed, the Church emerged as Europe's unifying force. The Bishop of Rome, now the Pope, wielded spiritual and temporal power, transforming the Vatican into a fortified enclave. By the 5th century, the secret archives began to take formal shape, housed in secure chambers beneath the Basilica. These were no mere records of papal decrees, but a treasure trove of esoteric texts, alchemical treatises, astrological charts, and rituals deemed heretical yet preserved for their insights. Among them were Jewish mystical texts, smuggled from Alexandria and Byzantium, which spoke of the Shekinah, a divine light akin to Lucifer's radiance, uniting Christian and Jewish esoteric traditions. In the 8th century, Pope Stephen II established a scriptorium to copy and protect these manuscripts. His scribes, trained in secrecy, cataloged documents from the Holy Land acquired during pilgrimages and conquests. These included texts from the Dead Sea Scrolls discovered centuries later, but known to medieval clerics, which hinted at a shared destiny between the Church and Israel. One scroll, it is said, prophesied a restored Jerusalem under a dual spiritual authority, a vision that shaped Vatican policy toward the Holy Land. The Crusades, 1095 to 1291, marked a turning point. The Knights Templar, a warrior monk order, uncovered artifacts beneath Jerusalem's Temple Mount, including scrolls detailing the bloodline of Jesus and secret agreements between early Christians and Jewish priests. These were transported to the Vatican, where they were sealed in the archive's deepest vaults. The Templars, some claim, were early Freemasons, their rituals blending Christian devotion with Kabbalistic and Egyptian mysticism. Their leader, Jacques de Molay, is said to have corresponded with Pope Clement V, offering the Church access to these secrets in exchange for protection. When the Templars were dissolved in 1312, accused of worshiping a figure resembling Lucifer, their documents were absorbed into the archives, fueling rumors of a hidden Vatican cult venerating the light-bearer. The archives also house texts linking the Vatican to ancient Israel's priestly class. Figures like Bernard of Clairvaux, a Cistercian monk who inspired the Second Crusade, are said to have studied Hebrew texts in the Vatican, forging alliances with Jewish scholars in Toledo and Damascus. These scholars, guardians of Kabbalistic knowledge, shared prophecies of a messianic age that would unite Rome and Jerusalem. The archives, it is claimed, contain their correspondence, written in coded Hebrew and Latin, outlining a plan to preserve Israel's spiritual legacy within the Church's walls. The Renaissance ignited a thirst for ancient wisdom, and the Vatican became a magnet for scholars, alchemists, and mystics. Pope Nicholas V, in the 1450s, expanded the Vatican Library, a public facade for the secret archives below. After the fall of Constantinople in 1453, Byzantine scholars fled to Rome, bringing texts that blended Greek, Jewish, and Persian mysticism. Among them were scrolls describing a cosmic battle between light and darkness, with Lucifer as the harbinger of enlightenment. These were locked away, accessible only to the Pope and his inner circle, who saw their potential to reshape Christian doctrine. The Freemasons, evolving from medieval stonemason guilds, emerged as a powerful force during this period. Their rituals, rooted in ancient Egyptian and Jewish mysticism, attracted Vatican insiders, including priests who joined their lodges in secret. Figures like Marsilio Ficino, a Florentine scholar patronized by the Medici family, are said to have bridged the church and Freemasonry. Ficino's translations of Hermetic texts, stored in the archives, linked the Vatican to esoteric traditions that venerated a divine intellect symbolized by Lucifer. These texts also referenced Israel, describing a spiritual homeland destined to rise again under divine guidance. The Vatican's connection to Israel deepened through figures like Pico della Mirandola, a Renaissance polymath who studied Kabbalah with Jewish rabbis in Florence. His writings, preserved in the archives, argued for a synthesis of Christian and Jewish mysticism, envisioning a world order led by Rome and Jerusalem. Pico's patron, Lorenzo de' Medici, a rumored Freemason, facilitated secret meetings between Vatican envoys and Jewish leaders, negotiating the protection of Hebrew texts in exchange for political influence in the Holy Land. These negotiations, documented in coded ledgers, reveal a Vatican strategy to align with Israel's spiritual legacy while maintaining public distance. By the 17th century, the Vatican's secret archives were a sprawling repository, guarded by a select order of clerics known as the Custodes Secretorum. These guardians oversaw documents that linked the church to emerging secret societies. The Illuminati, founded in 1776 by Adam Weishaupt, a Bavarian professor, sought to overthrow religious dogma and promote Enlightenment ideals. Weishaupt, influenced by Jewish mysticism and Masonic rituals, corresponded with Vatican insiders who saw his order as a tool to reform the church. The archives, it is said, contain letters detailing these exchanges written in ciphers that blend Hebrew and Latin, outlining a vision of global transformation centered on Jerusalem. The Vatican's relationship with Israel grew more complex during this period. Secret negotiations with Jewish communities in Venice and Amsterdam, facilitated by Jesuit intermediaries, aimed to protect Jewish scholars from persecution. In return, these scholars provided ancient Hebrew texts, including prophecies of a restored Israel that would herald a new age. Figures like Sabbatai Zevi, a 17th century Jewish mystic who claimed to be the Messiah, are said to have influenced Vatican policy through his followers, who sent emissaries to Rome. The archives allegedly hold Zevi's writings, which describe a light-bearing figure guiding humanity, a figure some equated with Lucifer. In the 19th century, the rise of Zionism intensified the Vatican's interest in Israel. Pope Pius IX, while publicly cautious, corresponded with early Zionist leaders like Moses Hess, a socialist and precursor to Theodor Herzl. These letters, hidden in the archives, reveal a Vatican strategy to support a Jewish homeland to fulfill biblical prophecies and secure influence over Jerusalem's holy sites. Giuseppe Mazzini, an Italian revolutionary and Freemason, played a key role. Mazzini's Masonic network, which included Vatican clerics, promoted nationalist movements, including Zionism, as part of a broader agenda for global control. The archives, it is claimed, contain Mazzini's plans, written in cryptic symbols, linking the Vatican, Freemasons, and Israel in a shared vision of a new world order. The figure of Lucifer re-emerged in this era, not as a devil, but as a symbol of rebellion and enlightenment. Albert Pike, a leading Freemason, wrote texts preserved in the archives that describe Lucifer as the light bearer guiding humanity toward truth. These writings, smuggled into the Vatican by Masonic priests, suggest a secret pact to harness esoteric knowledge for mutual benefit. The Illuminati, though officially disbanded, continued their influence through Vatican insiders, shaping policies that aligned with their globalist goals. The 20th century saw the secret archives expand to 85 kilometers of shelving, housing millions of documents in a fortified bunker beneath the Vatican. Pope Leo XIII opened the archives to select scholars in 1881, but the most sensitive materials, those linking the church to Freemasons, the Illuminati, and Israel, remained sealed. During World War II, the Vatican's stance on Israel was complex. While publicly neutral, Pope Pius XII is said to have supported the establishment of Israel in 1948, as documented in secret correspondence with David Ben-Gurion, Israel's first prime minister. These letters, locked in the archives, reveal a Vatican strategy to ensure Christian access to holy sites while aligning with Zionist goals to fulfill apocalyptic prophecies. The archives also contain evidence of the Vatican's ties to the Freemasons and Illuminati during this period. Licio Gelli, leader of the Propaganda du P2 Masonic Lodge, was a central figure. In the 1970s, P2 was implicated in financial scandals that nearly bankrupted the Vatican Bank. Documents in the archives allegedly detail Gelli's meetings with Archbishop Paul Marcinkus, who facilitated money laundering for Masonic and Illuminati networks. These networks aimed to destabilize governments and promote a globalist agenda, with Israel as a key player due to its biblical significance. Gelli's files, it is said, include plans for a new world order with the Vatican and Jerusalem as twin pillars of spiritual and political power. The Luciferian thread persists in modern narratives. The archives, it is claimed, house texts from the Fraternitas Saturni, a German occult order describing a Vatican cult that venerates Lucifer as the light of wisdom. This cult, led by rogue cardinals, collaborated with Israeli mystics who believed in a shared destiny between Rome and Jerusalem. Figures like Malachi Martin, a Jesuit priest and Vatican insider, allegedly uncovered these secrets, documenting them in coded manuscripts stored in the archives. Martin's writings describe a hidden chamber beneath the Vatican, where rituals blending Christian and Kabbalistic elements invoke the light bearer to guide humanity's future. In the 21st century, the Vatican's secret archives remain a fortress of mystery, their contents guarded by advanced security systems and ancient oaths. The archives continue to grow, incorporating digital records alongside ancient scrolls. Recent documents, it is said, detail the Vatican's ongoing relationship with Israel, particularly its role in shaping Middle Eastern geopolitics. Pope Francis, a figure of reform, is rumored to have accessed texts predicting a final alliance between the Vatican and Israel, fulfilling prophecies of a unified spiritual dominion. These texts, linked to the third secret of Fatima, allegedly describe a light-bearing figure, Lucifer or the Messiah, leading humanity into a new age. The Freemasons and Illuminati remain active, their influence permeating the Vatican through secret societies like the Knights of Malta. Figures like Gianluigi Nuzzi, an Italian journalist, have exposed financial scandals linking the Vatican to Masonic networks, with documents leaked from the archives. These leaks, it is claimed, reveal a global conspiracy involving Israel, the Vatican, and the Illuminati to control world events. The archives also hold prophecies from ancient Jewish seers acquired through modern Israeli scholars that predict a cataclysmic event uniting Rome and Jerusalem under a single spiritual banner. The Vatican's location on Vatican Hill was no mere historical accident. Beyond Peter's martyrdom, the site's Etruscan legacy and geomagnetic properties made it a cosmic focal point. The hill's ley lines, believed to channel spiritual energy, align with sacred sites in Jerusalem, creating a mystical link between the two cities. The secret archives, built in a two-story bunker beneath the Vatican, are said to rest over a portal to other dimensions, guarded by rituals that invoke both Christian and pre-Christian deities. The archive's design, with fireproof vaults and labyrinthine corridors, protects texts that could unravel the world's power structures, texts about Lucifer, Israel, and the hidden hands of Freemasons and Illuminati. The Vatican, perched atop its ancient hill, is more than a city-state. It is a guardian of humanity's deepest secrets. Its secret archives, a labyrinth of knowledge spanning millennia, hold the keys to our past and future. From Etruscan star maps to Crusader scrolls, from Masonic rituals to Illuminati plots, and from ancient Jewish prophecies to modern geopolitical intrigues, the archives reveal a Vatican intertwined with Israel, Freemasons, and the enigmatic figure of Lucifer. As the world hurtles toward an uncertain future, the Vatican remains a silent sentinel, its secrets locked away, waiting for the day when the light of truth, divine or otherwise, illuminates all. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this and would like to see more, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, uncover the truth and question the past.